ever noticed that some of the movies we might have watched growing up may not be appropriate today?
Oh, dude, there are so many movies like that we just label as insensitive.
Not only are they insensitive, they're probably just downright racist.
Racist, sexist, something, that would cancel them out today for sure.
Such as?
Well.
So I thought today we would talk about those movies that we grew up with that would not be made today.
I think that's a good idea.
So, movies that wouldn't be made today?
Right after this. Welcome to Whiskey Pop. I'm Zane.
And I'm Jeff.
And today we're going to talk about movies that just couldn't be made today.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and honestly, some of those are even Disney movies.
Oh, yeah. Everybody knows there's trouble in the Mouse House.
In the Mouse House, that's right. But before we talk about movies that we probably shouldn't enjoy today or be made today,
we got to do the whiskey.
We got to do the whiskey. And we're having something a little special today.
I hear it's special. However, I know squat about it.
Well, let me tell you a tiny bit about it, right?
Please do.
It's Legent.
It's Legent.
You think it's Legent?
I don't know, Gaff.
Legent. Legent.
Legent, yes.
Either way, this is a whiskey produced by Fred No.
Who?
Fred No.
I don't know.
And Shinji Fukuyoyo.
Oh, you're talking about the caretakers of Hibiki.
That's right. So the caretaker of the 4th generation caretaker of Hibiki.
Yes.
And the 7th generation of Jim Beam.
Now, you said this was their love child that was happening inside the whiskey.
This is their love child right here. So we're going to crack this open.
Let's do it.
You ready to do this?
I am ready.
Let's do this. All right.
That smells really good.
It does.
I want to taste it. Can I taste it?
Well, yeah, of course, this isn't the second pour. We can just go right in on this one. Oh, I can't wait to review this one this week. When do we usually do that?
Friday on second pour.
That's right, Friday second pour. So, I mean, if you want to know more about Legent and what we think about this whiskey, check us out Friday.
Because we will tell you everything.
Right now, we're going to tell you things we probably shouldn't tell you.
Ooh, so this could be a sensitive topic, but
Right.
the thing is, everybody knows that these movies are out there.
I mean, here's the deal. Everybody's seen these movies. They watch these movies still today.
Yeah.
They don't talk about them as much.
And we have to just preface it by only saying one thing. It came from a different time. And this is a time capsule that just shows how far society has grown in a lot of ways, and also how more sensitive and touchy-feely we are in other
We
ways.
have become a little more sensitive. I mean, with the PC world / cancel culture world,
Yeah.
these type of movies probably would tend to stir up a controversy that we have not seen.
Yeah, so
before.
they go to the execs and they go, hey, I'm gonna make this movie and it's blah, blah, blah. And the execs are like, yeah, we don't have funding for that movie.
Honestly, some of these movies had no idea what they were saying within the context of these movies. There would be no reason to make some of these movies today. Even you and I would be like, yeah, you can't make that.
Yeah, you can't make it. Yeah,
make that movie.
So what's our first movie up for grabs?
This is surprising. I really got thinking about this, but our number first, let's say.
Number first,
our first movie would be Mr. Mom.
Thank you.
Meet Dad. He's a real man.
Got a beer? 7 o'clock in the morning. Scotch?
An all-out go-getter. But when his job pulled the plug on him,
I'm fired? You son of a dude! Okay.
they threw a switch.
Go, running late. Yeah, okay. Good luck.
And he became the lady of the house. It sure looks like he got a terrific deal.
Honey, if you call and I'm not here, I'll be at the gym or at the gun club.
Right. So this is Michael Keaton
Yep,
and
Batman.
and Elizabeth Russell Van Child.
And Terry.
It's because I have no idea what her
Terry
name was.
Garr. You know, she was in this other movie like Young Frankenstein, which, by the way, she was. Is this insensitive? She was really hot in that movie.
It's okay to say that.
She's falling in the hay, rolling in the hay.
Hello. Would you like to have a roll in the hay? It's fun. Roll, roll in the hay.
I'm sorry.
We're not talking. Now, see, now that is
Young
what we can't do.
Frankenstein, man.
Yeah. So this movie has
It has a mom.
So this movie has the husband who can't get a job.
So mom goes back to work and dad stays home. So it's a gender swap, right?
Which is so taboo. See, that was the taboo part about this movie back then.
I mean, if you're a millennial today, you probably have known your parents always worked.
Yeah.
Right? But when we were kids,
Yeah.
even when we were kids, it was like, wait, the wife goes to work?
That no for good man, he's in there not working.
He should work 2
He's
jobs.
sending his wife after work.
He should work
Did
2
you see-
jobs before his wife has to go to work.
You see that spit I just
I know
did?
you're like
So
spitting
yeah,
it.
so this is like flipping like a social construct on the head of it during the time that it came out.
Even back in the late 70s, early 80s, it was still kind of that thing of, oh, your wife works?
We heard these statements
heard these things,
that
right?
were guys are like, well, my wife's never gonna work.
Oh, yeah. All the time you would hear that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that was a thing.
So this movie kind of plays on the idea of that, and then it really throws in some things today that women would be like, that's bullshit.
Like the trope that was being pushed back then of the woman unable to resist the pressures of the
Of the boss.
of the boss,
Or
and
even
all
worse,
this.
the really hot housewife comes over and the husband can't, resist the hot housewife.
Yeah, it's
It's like,
just
come on, guys. This is a dead trope nowadays.
yeah. This movie does not hold up anymore. at
Now,
all.
is it a funny movie?
Yes.
Hell yeah. I mean, the kid eating chili beans, or dad fighting off the washer, as it's
that's a dream.
Just what?
That's the dream sequence.
That's legit.
Have I been drinking too much? No.
That's legit.
Yeah, that's legit.
So, Mr. Mom is a funny movie, and there is some great moments in the movie, and it has a lot of heart.
But this movie, right, it's just not going to be made today.
It couldn't be made today.
Those things are not.
There's no relatable thing in there,
not
right?
At all.
Not at all. Our next one.
Our next one.
Now, this movie, I'm sorry, I'm going to be right up front. This is a really funny movie.
I like this movie, but
I shouldn't like this movie,
you shouldn't. You should be ashamed.
but this is a really good movie, and it's Smoking the Bandit.
Universal presents Burt Reynolds, Sally Field, Jerry Reed, and Fred.
We're gonna really have to cook. Put it on the back burner and let's cook. Is that a 10-4? 10-4.
And the only thing that stands between them and an $80,000 prize. Jackie Gleason as Sheriff Buford T. Justice.
I gotta barbecue your Bandit. I got a smoky report for you. And what's your handle, son? My handle is Smoky Bear, and I'm tail grabbing your.
This was their pinnacle of their acting career, like the peak of their popularity. I would
For
say,
sure. Burt
know?
Reynolds was a super star at this point, yeah.
However, Jackie Gleason, on the other hand,
He's the comedic breakthrough on this film. Every scene with Jackie Gleason in it as, Justice, or no, Buford T. Justice. Right?
Buford T. Justice.
T. Justice.
It is so over the top. It's so cringe.
It is so
bad.
violent.
Because he looks at his son, he's like, well, that's the first thing I do when I get home. I'm going to what?
There's no way that you could come from my loins. Soon as I get home, the first thing I'm gonna do is punch your mama in the mouth.
The first thing when I get home, I'm going to punch your mama right in the mouth. I mean, that's domestic violence
It's
by a cop.
domestic violence. It's like child abuse in a way with his poor, dumb son. It's
There are racial issues in this movie that there's no way any studio wouldn't want to tackle today.
Dude, but think about it. This movie not only was made, it was produced, and had a cult following for a long while.
It still does. We're in the South, dude.
But you know what? But it's not the insensitive sides of things that I don't think people are following today. Really, that talk about it. It's the bootlegging and the transamming and the
yeah, that's true.
and the stashing.
But it's like all that stuff has this neat little wrapping of Buford T. Justice.
What the hell is the world coming to?
This next movie, if we've ever gotten canceled on Whiskey Pop, it would be because of this movie.
Okay, first of all, we're gonna spoil it here. It's Richard Pryor.
And this is a very sensitive topic in the 1980s.
Oh my God! But this movie, it was made. It was produced. I watched it. I laughed.
I still laugh when I watch clips recently.
There's so much about the humor that Richard Pryor pulls that's just, he's classic humor.
And this movie is...
But this is the most insensitive bullshit movie, I swear.
It's the toy.
What do you give the kid who has everything?
Daddy said anything I wanted, anything in the store.
For Eric Bates, it was the only toy in his father's store
You know what I want.
that wasn't for sale.
What you're offering me is not a job, sir. It's an insult, and I'm insulted, and I'm splitting.
Now, Jack Brown has been made an offer he can't refuse.
$10,000? For that kind of money, if Eric blows his nose, you wipe it.
And if he can survive 1 week with Eric,
Was I bad?
What you were gave a new meaning to the word bad.
Oh my God.
A rich white kid goes in
and buys a black man.
and buys a black man. Can you believe that? I mean,
this is so wrong on
it's
so many
so
levels.
absurd.
And even in the 80s, they knew this was wrong.
Yeah,
they still made this movie.
They still made the movie.
And Richard Pryor still signed up for it.
And see, that's the other side of things, too. There's more to what this discussion is than what we can even bring to the table. Because clearly, the actors involved are making a paycheck.
Yeah, on a subject that honestly is a really touchy subject, even in the 80s.
But dude,
today, that's a no-touch. This is a no-touch film.
You cannot do this movie. I mean, did I see this movie? Yes, I
Have
saw
I
this
seen
movie.
this movie multiple times?
Yeah, I've seen
Yes,
it.
I have. I mean, it's Richard Pryor.
And he's
one of the greatest comedians of our era.
Yeah, and he's hilarious.
For sure. And there's a really great funny scenes in that, in the fact that he's driving the car with his kid and he gets beat up by a robot and he's wrestling like toys. And on the same time, he's having like these really heart-to-heart talks about sex with this kid. And
oh yeah.
And Jackie Gleason's in this
There he is
movie again.
Oh.
Isn't this the guy that said he was gonna punch his wife all the time, like
Yeah,
even in the honeymooners?
That's right. Pow, right in the kisser.
And then he decides he's gonna punch his wife as a sheriff.
Right in the mouth.
And then there's no wife in this movie, so I guess he must have knocked her out too.
One of these days, Alice. One of these days. Pow! Right in the kisser.
Yeah, so clearly this movie could not be made today.
Now, I think we should preface all of our stuff we're talking about the fact that this is history. So as a society, we've continued to move forward.
Yeah,
These
sure.
things mean we wouldn't do these kind of movies again.
The fact that we feel cringe about it now is showing that
it tells you how forward people are now.
Yeah, because it... Dude.
Because there was a bunch of execs that sat around, that's a great idea for a movie, let's do it.
Shame on you.
Shame on you guys. Shame on you.
Yeah.
Did we already watch the clips on all that?
I think we did. Anyway, keep going.
You thought that was bad. This next movie. This movie stars Steve Martin in 1979, where a kid gets adopted by a family. It sounds like a great film, right?
Right. On premise,
it's a great idea. So,
however,
well, yeah. And what was that movie?
It's The Jerk. It's a white kid adopted by a black family, so he grows up not knowing so much so that he
didn't realize why he's white.
And
then he realizes he's white, and every trope and stereotype that's possible for African Americans is used in this film.
yeah, this one.
You want to talk about cringy? This movie's cringy, and it's funny, but it's cringy.
It's funny, but the thing is, it's true. This movie would not be made. Like, not only would this not be made, somebody who suggested it would probably be absolutely ostracized and kicked out. But
yeah, I mean, here's the thing: there is some really funny parts in this movie. Like and there are even stereotype tropes for like Caucasians in this and whites, because like Steve Martin has no rhythm, so he's like,
yeah.
Now watch. Now watch.
Yeah.
Well, if this is out there, think how much more is out there. This is the kind of music that tells me to go out there and be somebody.
But Nathan.
Let him go.
think, is it a cringe, never should be made movie today?
For today,
there's
yes.
no way anybody
But
would make
in a
this
time
movie.
capsule, you're like, God, we've come a long way.
Yeah, and so is Steve Martin. He's got rhythm now.
Oh, stop it. Moving on.
Okay, so before we go to number one, I think we should talk about some of what we call dishonorable mentions.
Okay.
So these are movies that we were like, okay, these are obvious movies.
Yeah.
The ones we're talking about are not as obvious. These are like blatantly obvious. Disney's Song of the South.
Right.
Song of the South is back.
Zip, 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 zip-a-dee-doo-dah, zip-a-dee.
Another one would be like Trading Places.
I certainly hope there's enough space on the train for me. Nenge Mboko from Cameroon. Do you remember me? It's Lionel Joseph.
Now, another one would be like Blazing Saddles.
Everything about Blazing Saddles is wrong.
Okay, folks, let's wipe them out!
The heroic sheriff rallies his citizens in the wildest finish the West has ever seen.
Ow! Oh, ow! Have you ever seen such cruelty?
There's no way.
No, it won't be.
And then one other one, we actually dug this one out of the crypt because we hadn't even thought about this movie in years, but it was Soul Man.
Law school.
Yeah!
Tuition and fees. $10,493.
Harvard Law School. This is a big day for all of us. That's why I've decided to let you pay your own way.
Estimated annual living expenses.
You ever applied for a loan before?
$7,500.
Mr. Watson, you don't pay your bills. Get out.
Total for 3 years of law school.
Wait a second, look at this. Full tuition for the most qualified applicant, most qualified black applicant.
$53,979. Don't you think you're overreacting? No.
Congratulations, Mr. Watson.
Thank you, sir. I'll do my best.
Our number one on this, believe it or not, this is a very prized, loved movie.
Oh, yeah.
Would it get made today? I don't think so.
It won't because of the political / real climate of things that's going on.
Yeah, and that would be Christmas Story.
In this modern age,
perfect.
Too many people have lost sight of the true meaning of Christmas.
Mom! Hush!
Shut up, Ralphie!
So now, in the spirit of the original,
I'm needing you. Stop!
traditional, American Christmas,
Thanks a lot!
MGM presents A Christmas Story.
You're like, well, why? I mean, is it bad to say, oh, fudge?
No, that's just perfectly fine. The problem is with the fact that this story is literally written around the fact that the kid wants a gun for Christmas.
Even though it's a BB gun,
It's
Red
still
Ryder.
It's still a gun.
We realize that there are real reasons to be butthurt over the whole gun issues, one way or the other. But at the same time,
It's a gun movie, and there's no way.
yeah, it
would be a studio death.
The studio couldn't produce it, regardless of how you feel about the topic. I mean,
Yeah.
the innocence of a BB gun, but you're right. The studio was looking at this big picture.
Yeah, they'd be like,
Kids with guns, that is a no-go.
NRA's all in on this movie, but
Yeah, they're like, hey, you know.
yeah, the rest of the world, you're probably gonna have a hard press
Yeah.
to end up jumping on.
So
this
yeah,
one.
this one is a big one. That for sure could not be made.
Okay, so what do you think? Is there a movie that we've missed? Is there something you think today? Like I know we talked about even like Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, sure.
Would Tropic Thunder get made today? And that's a more recent film.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think there's a movie out there that wouldn't get made today because of just the social climate or the way we've kind of continued to move forward in our social structure, maybe?
Yeah. Let us know in the comments below. Be kind.
Yeah, definitely be nice, guys. I mean, the whole idea behind talking about this is one, it's a part of pop culture.
Sure.
And it's still out there, and people still watch it and still even quote. I hear people still quote these movies.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, sometimes it's in little private spaces, and sometimes it's out in the open.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's just an interesting topic for pop culture, so please be kind when you respond down below.
In the meantime, be sure to like, subscribe, and
share, because it really helps us out a whole lot, and it lets us to continue to make fun videos like this and others. Plus, we get to do great whiskey reviews.
And
Which
anyway,
we will do on Friday, right?
it's Second Pour.
That's right. So in the meantime,
Join us on Second Pour and cheers.
Cheers, guys.